Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Troy with Cichlid Bros. In today's video, we are doing one of the most fun things to do on the channel, which is unboxing a new fish delivery. I have new fish for both the 90-gallon discus tank and the big plywood aquarium. So this is going to be a really interesting video. I've been wanting these fish for a long time, so let's dive right in. If you hadn't already seen this, this is my 500-gallon plywood aquarium that I built down here, which has South American cichlids, and soon my big black diamond stingray will be moved in here. But there's still room in here for some pretty cool fish that I've had in mind, specifically with South American fish. So I cannot wait to show you what I unboxed for this aquarium, and it's really going to fill in this aquarium once those fish are ready to go in here. And then of course we have this 90-gallon discus tank, which has been up and running for a couple years, and I haven't had a great success rate with discus. I think it was the original batch of discus I got from a source that was questionable, and the discus I've had over the last couple years have slowly wasted away and kind of died one by one. So there's only 2 discus left in here. One of them is doing great, eating really well, and looks great, the yellow melon discus, but there's one in here that's probably on his way out as well. All the rest of the fish in here have done great. The rummy-nosed tetras are awesome. There's a big school of them. There's 6 corydoras and some zebra loaches that kind of hide out in the rockwork. But you'll see that the stocking, because of the discus that have been dwindling, is pretty low, and I kind of want some bigger, colorful centerpiece fish, so you'll see some of that in the unboxing. Also, there's a decent amount of algae that's on the plants and on the rocks, and I kind of want something to help me with that maintenance, and you'll also see that in the fish delivery. But before we get to that fish delivery, we kind of need to talk about this 180 because I'm making some changes this week in this video, and we're going to go ahead and bounce back a week ago whenever I was removing some of those electric blue acara. Today is a bittersweet day because I am parting with 3 electric blue acara. I do have a follower coming over in about half an hour to pick them up. I am draining the tank so that it's much easier to catch these guys. They're surprisingly fast and agile. So I'm gonna now get my nets now that the water is drained, and I'm gonna scoop them out, put them in some fish bags. So now for the challenging part is trying to scoop out a couple of these guys without completely destroying the tank. Sometimes 2 nets help, but there is a lot of decor over here that they can hide behind, so it's kind of a challenge. All right, got one. And like I said, this is bittersweet because I'm giving away a few of my fish, but I know that they're going to a follower, which is always cool, and I know the tanks that they're going to are going to be big and good homes for them. And I'm not going to be giving away all of them, so I'll still have a few of these guys left over. There's number 2. All right, got the 3rd one. Go ahead and take a quick peek. So there's one of them. Looks amazing. Hope this guy enjoys his new home. Doesn't have to harass the stingray anymore. Number 2. And number 3. These guys look much bigger now that they're outside the tank too. But now they are off to their permanent homes. Excited for these guys, even though it's sad to see them go. So now that I gave away those 5 electric blue acaras and they went to good homes, I'm really excited about that. I have my black diamond stingray in the background here, and he still has 5 electric blue acara in the tank with him. So the plan will be to bring all of those into the 500-gallon aquarium along with one of the fish from this unboxing, so let's get to that now. So next up, it is one of my favorite things to do on the channel, which is unboxing new fish. This came overnight, UPS, and the box is a little bit wet because it was raining outside, so I took a quick peek just to make sure everything's good inside the box, and it is, but I haven't really looked at the fish yet. So this order came from Aquatics Unlimited, which is a local fish store in the Milwaukee area, about an hour and a half away from me in Chicago. And I actually did a full fish store tour of that facility, which was absolutely incredible. It was probably my favorite local fish store I've ever seen in person. I will link that video down in the description below. Definitely check it out. But when I was looking for one of the rare fish in this package, I saw it was available at Aquatics Unlimited and that they had some other fish I've been wanting for a while. So I went ahead and made that order. I could have gone up to Milwaukee, but it was just too much for me to do this week because I was really busy. So I elected to go with the overnight shipping. And we're going to go ahead and check out these guys. I'm super excited. Like I mentioned earlier, one of them at least is going in the 500-gallon plywood tank. We also are going to put some in the discus aquarium, and we have others that we're going to talk about as well. But you can see the box is a little bit wet. But we're gonna go ahead and get these guys out. Got a couple pieces here. It's not really wet inside the bag, which is good. All right, so the first fish here is an angelfish. So it's a little guy. And I believe I have a few different types of angelfish in here. I think one is called a marble angelfish and the other have some more orange coloration. Next up, probably gonna be hard to see these guys, but they're two really small bristlenose plecos, some albino bristlenose plecos. So these guys will be great algae eaters. They're some of my favorites. I have some already in the 150-gallon tank, but I definitely wanted some more for the discus aquarium, and they're going to be great tank mates for them. So some really nice color on them too. Oh, and there's a little heat pack in here as well. Next up, we have two more angelfish. And these guys have more black and orange coloration to them. Pretty decent size. I mean, they're still pretty small, but a little bigger than the other angel. So we got 3 angels so far. The next up is another angel. This one's a little bit bigger. And it has more orange and white coloration. And like always, once we get these guys in their tank, we'll get a much clearer view of all of them. But we have 4 angelfish, 2 bristlenose plecos, and this guy, which is probably the coolest thing I have in the order. I'm so excited for it. It looks like he's doing great. This is a really small banded leporinus. You can see it's kind of torpedo shaped with black and yellow stripes. Those yellow stripes are so vivid and colorful. And this guy's a South American fish, a cherison, and they get huge. So these guys get up to 13, 14 inches and will be a perfect fit in my plywood aquarium. So obviously we're gonna have to grow this guy out a little bit. They're pretty rare. I don't see them very often online or in local fish stores, but super cool. Sometimes people say these guys have to be a schooling fish or they behave better when they're in a school, but as we've seen with my ballast shark, as long as you provide a good environment, sometimes those are just guidelines, and I don't think this guy will mind too much being on his own when he's with those other tank mates. So all these fish are looking great, very excited about it. Let's go ahead and get these guys floated and in their quarantine tank. Okay, so we are down in the fish room, and this is my 20-gallon quarantine tank. I just put some rocks and some fake plants and sand in there temporarily. I also have the Cichlid contactless heater set up along with the Seachem Tidal 35 as the filter with filter media that's been used in other aquariums, so this is good to go. But we have all the fish floating right now. We will temperature acclimate for about 30 to 40 minutes, come back, and then plop them, drop them in the tank. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the light now, stress them out a little less. Okay, so these guys have been temperature acclimated for about a half hour, and I just turned the light back on temporarily so we could film this, but I will turn the light off as soon as they're in their tank. But we just have a bucket with a net over it, and this is the plop and drop method. Highly recommend this for any online orders. It's always what I do anytime I order online. So it's getting them out of their bag water, none of that water getting in your tank. All right, this is the little angel. Really little guy. Jeez. All right, and then this is the leporinus. And these guys can be jumpers, so I definitely need to be careful about that. Make sure I get him in there safely and then get a firm fitting lid as well so that we have no issues with that. But there he goes. He's also super small. But I kind of like when fish are small like this because you get to see their full growth and evolution. So it'll be really cool to see how big this guy gets and how fast he gets there. All right, so this is the biggest of the angelfish. And I was a little bit worried because he's, you know, probably double the size of that first angel we put in here. But usually angelfish play okay together, especially if they're not too big or breeding mode. So I think they should be just fine together. There we go. All right, next up we have the bag with the 2 angels in there. All right, here go the 2 angels with more black and orange coloration to them. I like the contrast of these different angels together. I think it's going to look really good whenever I put them in the 90-gallon tank. And last but not least are the plecos. All right, now I'm just going to get this lid on here. Okay, so here are the fish a couple days later. They're really doing well. You can see the 4 angelfish here, and then the banded leporinus is right there. A little guy, but man, he is really gonna get big. Can't wait to see this guy's growth and evolution. They look so awesome as adults, and I think it's gonna look great in my 500-gallon plywood tank. The first time I really got inspiration to get one of these was when I was at Adventure Aquarium, and I did that tour and saw Piranha Falls, which was an incredible piranha aquarium, but they had big leporinus in there that just looked beautiful with that yellow and black bands. Cannot wait for this guy. Yeah, I mean, just look at this guy. Even as a small little guy, only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, already some great color patterns on him. Unique body shape. Just cannot wait to put him in the 500-gallon plywood tank once he grows to probably 5 or 6 inches. And then these angelfish that have a mix of colors and patterns, which will continue to come out as they grow and settle into their aquarium, but they will be going into the 90-gallon discus tank. I think they will be perfect in there in a planted aquarium as I kind of transform that tank. They could probably go in there right now, but I'm just going to wait it out a few more weeks of quarantine so that they're nice and settled in and that they're eating well and all of that. So much more to come on these guys. And then back there on the rock, you can see one of the albino plecos already going to work on any type of biofilm and algae in the tank. But I really like the coloration on this guy. I think he'll stand out whenever I do see him in the tank. But he'll also be going into the discus tank with the other pleco that I got in this order. So really excited about them as well. So the new fish are doing great in their quarantine tank. They're starting to eat really aggressively, and I can't wait for them to finish that process so that I can put the angelfish and the bristlenose plecos in the discus tank, and that leporinus I will probably upgrade his quarantine tank to a larger size, at least for a while, until he can grow up a little bit further before he goes into this plywood aquarium. But it's only one of the unique fish that I have plans for in this plywood tank. There's much more to come there, but for now I'm really happy with this first fish order, and I'll be adding them to the tanks in a video very soon, so stay tuned for that. But thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.